Today. Today is the 16th of February 2022, and I am on Focus on Liberia with Sex and Relationship Conversation with Lady J. Please share the video and invite your friends as you are coming in. And if you have any comments to make, questions, feel free to pop your questions in or call the number that we have on the screen. We are going to be going over part 2 from popular demand. I decided to do a part 2 of last week's conversation. Does size matter? A lot of people reached out to me and said they really enjoyed the topic and they wanted to know more about size from a man, a woman's perspective. So today we're going to be discussing from both perspectives, talking about it. I got some points that I'm going to put on there. Then we'll go into like a conversation time. So you're welcome. Feel free to start putting your conversations on. I love the interaction because it makes me talk to you guys, answer your questions. Share the video, share the video. If you know there's someone on here that likes the show and they're not on here, make sure you share the video so they can come and join us, okay? All right. So we'll go right into it. Does size matter? And looking into it, we know that a lot of men are obsessed about their bodies, just how women are obsessed about their bodies. Some people are too fat, too tall, too small. And when it comes to the body or their size, and we all know that, becoming obsessed with, their bodies, they also are obsessed with what they got to work with down there, their equipment. So how do guys measure up? And this is something that women talk about every day. When it comes to size, it's very, very rare that you get a honest assessment from a guy when it comes to size because it's about them. It's about guys. It's not about us or women. So um, time and time again, when you've like had sex with a man or you start a relationship with a man, he would be like, "What do you think about my size?" And when that happens, ladies, do you want to tell the truth or do you lie? Do you want to tell the truth or do you lie? It's a surprising question, but underneath the question, there is so many things like the guy being vulnerable and he just wants to know what the person think. So let's dive right into it. Point number 1, sizing him up. Sizing him up. That's point number 1. Sizing him up. When it comes to that, you look at a man structure without him taking off his clothes and you start to question yourself as a woman. Is he huge? Is he small? And all those things. Because that can make a woman attracted to a man based on what she feels his size is. And sometimes women want to, take a peek and see. Because sometimes people can get it wrong. You can get a very tall man and you think that his size is tall or long. Because he's tall, you think that his penis size is long. And come to find out, it's not long. It's actually very short. And it can be very, very surprising. Like, I thought because he's a tall person, he's supposed to have a tall or long penis. But that's not the case. And sometimes you see very short guys and be like, oh, he's so short. So I bet you his penis is short as well. So, but as we all know, seeing a man's structure does not sometimes gives you the right size when you're sizing a man up to reach to that place that you think he is or he's not. And yes, to answer the question, size matter, but not the way men think that it does. So size do matter, but not the way most men think that it does. Point number 2, when is it too big? So we've put so much importance on the size of a man's penis. As a result, women have bigger expectations when it comes to a man's size, forgetting about the size of their vaginas. And that's not supposed to be. When you're thinking about a man's size, as a woman, you also have to be thinking about the size of your vagina because your preference should come along with what you have in regards to the length of your vagina and the width of it. And most men measure 6 inches long with 1.4 in regards to the width. And that's like a popular measurement that women have in mind that is supposed to be the ideal like size that women look for. But then we have a perception. It when it's bigger, is it going to feel good? When it's smaller, is it going to feel better or bigger, whatever it is? And again, it comes down to that unique woman that you're dealing with. And that's not always the case. Smaller is not always not good. Bigger is not always, the preferred one. In fact, I feel that women overreach when it comes to these things. So when it comes to too big, if a man is too big, ladies, you will need a lot of lubricant because the friction in the walls of your vagina is going to be a lot. And if you don't put lubricant on there, it's going to cut and cut and cut. And when you try to do your orgasm, it's not going to be as powerful as it should be because down there has become so much sore. So you have to think about that when it comes to your orgasm and the contractions, because the contractions has to be done and it's done perfectly when you don't have no sore over there and there's no cut. So logically, we have to make sure that when we're thinking about a man's size, we should also be thinking about us, our size as women, but we don't always do that. So when we think about, is it too big? You should think about your size. Do you have the capacity to receive that big prick or penis? When it comes to the women that have shorter, tighter width and length, is small enough for me or medium enough for me. Our third point, second time is not a charm. So this second time, when you guys have sex for the first time and it didn't go well, some women don't want to go back. Be like, I didn't enjoy the first time. I don't think I want to go back to it. If you did it the first time and it was too big and there was no lubricant, the woman is going to be sore the next day. Everywhere she's going to be sore. So she's not going to be too eager to want to have sex that next day. And there are also times that a woman just would not give a guy a second chance if, things was not done right the first time, especially if she's hurt, if she's sore down there. That means that it was bigger than she expected. And 2, there was no lubricant. 3, she's sore. She has to go and see her gynecologist. That's it. So even though she might not have said anything there, she's going to refuse to have sex with him after all. So no second chance. Our next point, you can really get hurt. So if you go for an extra large penis and the wall of your vagina is not that big, you can have vaginal injuries, because when the penis enters the woman's cervix during intercourse and it's very, very large, it rubs against her walls. But now instead of it becoming like enjoyable during a sexual intercourse, it actually causes discomfort or pain. And so after the sex is done, the woman does not want to go there anymore because her walls are torn. And when your cervic walls are torn, it can cause pain and it can cause bleeding, and it makes sex less pleasurable. So she might not want to go back there. When a man has a bigger penis, there needs to be 3 things: lubricant, patience, and position expectations. So there needs to be lubricant, patience, and position expectations. That means that you have to know what kind of positions that you want. We're going to look into about 14 embarrassing sex questions, and we'll continue. These are questions that people ask in the bedroom. 14 embarrassing sex questions. Why don't my breasts match? Women ask that question a lot. Is it normal to pass gas when you're having an orgasm? Number 3, I had a dream about having sex with another woman. Am I gay or bisexual? 3. Number 4, is it core sore or does it seem like herpes? That's number 4. Number 5, can certain exercise really lead to better sex? Number 6, is cyber sex cheating? Number 7, will my vagina be noticeably bigger after I have a baby? Number 8, I've had an orgasm during intercourse. I've never had an orgasm during intercourse. Is there something wrong with me? Number 9, where is my G-spot? Number 10, can anal sex give me hemorrhoids? Number 11, why don't my private looks like a centerfold? Number 12, I smell down there. What can I do? Number 13, does piercing my genitals increase my risk for infection? Number 14, last but not the least, I've been diagnosed with HPV once in the past. So do I still have it? Am I at risk for cervix cancer? So these are some embarrassing questions that, sex questions that people ask. I didn't get to answer them. I probably might do it next week. So, the next point is smaller better. Although, a man with a big penis can be a problem, nobody wants a pinko sized fellow either. So, we're looking for something right in the middle there that is not too big and not too small. Um, and people will come on and talk about size all the time. Women will come on and talk about size all the time. Well, I met this guy and he was really great. Or when I went to sleep with him, his penis was really small. And I didn't get to come and I didn't get to enjoy anything because I didn't get to feel it on my G spot or other those things. So, size, um, I mean, smaller is better where you probably, not probably, but you're not going to get cuts. You're not going to have, these painful after sex discomforts because, the penis is not as big as, something that causes that. Next point, help for the size challenge. So sometimes toys can help if a man penis is small or too big. If it's too big, you can put rings on a penis to stop it from going all the way. Because sometimes if you just leave it like that, it goes all the way up and hits the woman's like womb right up there. And it can be very discomforting when that happens. So sometimes you can buy toys that can help. A woman can also do Kegel exercises if she feels that her vagina walls are not tight enough. And Kegels is just sitting out and squeezing your vagina together and releasing it. Squeeze it, release it, squeeze it, release it. You can do this exercise anywhere at any time, and it can lead to your vagina walls being tightened. And it can give you more control over your vagina muscles so that when you're having an intercourse, you are contracting more and harder. And both people are going to feel it because when the guy is going in and out of you and you are contracting, he's going to feel it. That's also going to bring out an orgasm for you. Because when a woman is having an orgasm, two things happen. She contracts, squeezes the penis, and her wall sprays out this beautiful water or this beautiful lubricant from her vagina that the guy can feel. So he'll feel the contraction and he'll feel that, feel of her being wet because the walls are letting out lubricant based on the fact that she's coming. So that's what you can do as a woman if you feel that your walls are not that tightened. The next one, before you write him off. So before ending things with a guy, consider his ability to compensate for his shortcomings. Ladies, can he please you in any other way? So if you guys had sex and his size is not okay for you, is there any other way he can please you? Can he make you come with his mouth, with his fingers? Is he attentive to your needs? Is he a good lover, regardless of his penis size? When it comes down to that, about like inches and how big he is, or how tight you are, or how, not tight you are, um, you both have to be able to feel that and understand what's going on. And that's something that you have to take into consideration as a woman when it comes to size. Is it you that your walls are not tightened, or is it him that his penis is not big? And when you guys discuss these things, you will better know how to, proceed with the relationship instead of just writing him off. That's pretty much what I have for you guys for size. When it comes to the technical part of it, we're going to go into conversation now. And I would like to see some comments from y'all pertaining to what we just went over when it comes to the size. For me, personally, I personally I wouldn't go for something that is very big because of the way I am built. And every woman has her own build. I'm a short girl, so that means the level of my cervix is not very long or deep. I don't have that depth like some women do. And the width is not that big as well. So if I had to choose, I would choose something that is just, minimum for me based on what I just described. But some girls do like it very big, and that's all they consider. And some of them, they'll also like it to hurt. I guess that's some people's fantasy. But I personally would not want to go through sex hurting because I feel that it should be enjoyable. And my lubricants, I don't get tired of having lubricants. Lubricants are the best because it takes away any kind of friction that might lead to discomfort. Because once you start getting that cut, ain't it, sister, you are not going to be able to come properly. Once there is anything off in there, it's going to be hard for you to come. So maybe this is something that you guys can take away because sometimes people don't know. But anything that is discomforting in the walls of the vagina makes it less um, makes it less possible. The possibility of coming is less based on how irritated it is or not irritated or if it's just a normal feeling. And that's just what it is. So I'd like to see some comments now. I hope you guys are having fun. I would like to see some comments. Kosa, my beautiful sister, keep being great. Thank you. This Kosa, I appreciate it. Andrew, what size women really want? So, Andrew, to answer your question, every woman is not the same. And that's why you have to figure out, you know, exactly what this woman, what she's carrying. I will say that, what she's carrying, because every man is carrying her own, every woman is carrying her own. So I can't stand and speak for everyone. I say every woman like a medium size or small, every woman like a big and stuff like that. It's unique when it comes to everybody. It's uniquely different. Namaste, size destroy, or any size can fit. You're right, size can destroy. There's some sizes that can really destroy, and the manner in which the sex is done too can destroy. So some people have sex and have it in a very rough way. I can make a person want to run away or want to say stay. It's up to how it's done. Anthony Rogers, what is an average size of a man? If it's not too big and it's not too small, it's average. I mean, average is average. I don't know how you want me to describe it. Patrick, what's up, beautiful? How are you doing today? I'm doing great, Patrick. Hope you are too. Amnesty, Lady J, why you took the decision to play this part on the show? I don't understand your question. I mean, I don't think it's a bad part to play, so I don't understand it. Cyrus, how are you, my love? I have experienced it before, Lady J. What have you experienced, Cyrus? Give me some more low knowledge. Anthony, That's the reason why more men take different kinds of substance when meeting a woman for the first time because some women discuss men's size. So when your tit is different substance and you can make your size bigger, because sometimes too, you take it in there, it can't work with Anthony. But to each is his own. So to each is his own. Vargas Matthews, wow, expert. To each is his own when it comes to you taking all the kind of thing there. I've experienced that before. Brian Brown, how do you know that the person's penis is big or small when you haven't done anything? You can't know, as I stated. You cannot. You can look at a person and try to determine, and you'll not be able to determine until you go there. So it's impossible to know, Brian. Speaker, speaker, how long does it take for a woman to come? Every woman have different times of coming. Some women can come without penetration. Some women can come during penetration. It all has to do with how the finger or the penis is touching the G spot. In order for a woman to come, her G spot has to be touched or rubbed against. And based on that, she will come. But everybody has a different time frame of coming. Jimmy, the shallow gets the whole half. Isn't technique the shallow gets the half whole? Isn't technique more important than that? Yes, technique is important, Jimmy. You're right. That's why I was talking about positions. In order for you to be able to enjoy, you have to understand positions. Like, for example, if you did not have a big penis and your penis was shorter, it's going to be hard to pleasure a woman if she was lying on her back and she lift her leg up and you keep from the side. Because if you want to touch a G spot, a shorter penis cannot, do that. So then you have to look for other styles like maybe doggy or backdoor that will be able to, do the work. So you have to look for the right position to be able to make the lady happy based on the size that you have. Johnson, Jessica, what happened to Kitchen Talk to show you and one other lady used to have on Sundays afternoon? I mean, I can't talk about that right now. It's not airing anymore. Sorry about that. Any other questions? To call 605-313-6004. Jemima, have you ever had a huge dick before entering you? That's kind of like personal. So I don't know what to say. That's very, very personal. I mean, every time in a woman's life, of course, I mean, she's going to have different things, but I don't know where your question is going, so I don't really know how to address it. Any other questions? All right. So, one thing that I do know and say to people is if you are looking to go into a serious relationship with someone, it's very, very, very important that you have a sit down with the person and talk to them about your sexual expectations. Because a lot of times people skip the conversational part of their relationship, jump right into sex, and come to find out the sex not good. I care you can have the longest big dick in all the women that you've been with, something. If you go to a woman who has a shallow cervix and a tighter width in her walls, in her vagina walls, she probably not going to like it. So maybe the women that you've been with, they appreciate it, but she might not like it, and she might not go back to you to do it for the second time because she didn't feel comfortable in it. So it's good for you to sit down and talk about it. Not every man that has a small penis is at a disadvantage or has a middle-sized penis is at a disadvantage. Not every man who is at a larger size is at an advantage. That's why you have to sit down and have a conversation with this woman and ask her, what are some of the things you like? What turns you on? You have those conversations. She might be shy, but it's better to know than not to know because that first encounter can make or break your situation. So I always recommend you sit down and talk about it. Some women they get traffic and I see them reach out and try to touch the man penis, but if that thing is laying down, it will not give you the right measurement or evaluation. You got to be standing upright in this upright position. So going to go grab it like that, you're doing yourself any justice. But it will not show if that's the right size. So if you feel something, be like, oh, man, bad. Or oh, that may not get anything even on you. And you're on your own because you have not fully assessed the situation. In order to fully assess it, you have to be on its full length. If it gets a minute, if it laying down, it laying down. It resting, it resting. When it stand up, it's a whole different story we got to explain. So some women I've heard has been very, become very disrespectful in regards to a person's size. They try to touch it, rub on it, and they get, that size that is like not so, or they feel something that is not so big or to the expectations, and they start to talk. And now when the man gets to have sex with you, he's very upset. So he's just going to do it any kind of way for you to feel the pain and based on the way you address his size. So ladies, be careful. You never know till you're ready inside there. So you're really having that intercourse and that man has his penis in you. You will never be able to determine what the size is. So don't make those mistakes of expressing yourself that way to him. I want to kind of go back to those embarrassing questions because I feel that it comes up way too often, the 14 embarrassing sex questions. I want to kind of like go back to it and tap into some of them. Ladies ask, why don't their breasts match? I just want to say this to ladies. Except you've gone to get a boob job, the breasts don't match. As I'm sitting in front of you, my breasts don't match. There's a smaller one and a bigger one. So every woman don't have the same size when it comes to what sits on the chest. There is one always bigger than the other one. But you just have to know how to put yourself together for it to not really, matter. Unless you went and get a boob job done where the exact same size based on the circumference of it, the breasts they don't really um, match at all. So, is it normal to pass gas during orgasm? The answer is yes. When you're having an orgasm, climaxing, the muscles around your genitals is going to squeeze in and out. And once it's squeezed in and out, it is not really unusual for you to pass gas. And even before it happens, once that motion starts, it may also trigger the gas just before the woman starts to climax. So if it does happen, you probably might go and get some gas medication to use when it happens. It does. I know it's embarrassing to be ready to come or to be coming and then you start to fight all in that place and stuff like that and be embarrassing. I would maybe like, oh, what is it that we smell here? Somebody farting, whatever. So that's it. But it's not unusual. Next question that I thought I would like to address: can certain exercise really lead to better sex? Yeah. If you have good cardiovascular routines, it helps builds your energy and stamina. A lot of women, not a lot of women, but some women, and they can't do all the work because they don't have no energy. A woman is supposed to be able to meet up with a man's stamina during sex. The man rather turn you around, you won't put you, you won't put you the way. You won't put anywhere. Or one person has to be doing all the work and you did that. No. Hmm? So when you do cardiovascular routines, it helps build your energy and your stamina. Strength training, that is like stretching, can help you build your muscles and improve your flexibility so you can be able to maintain various sex positions. Because some people, as soon as they start some sex positions, like maybe lift their legs up like this, where there is nothing holding it, and the man is kind of like right between the woman's legs, you look to see, and they start to get tired because they cannot maintain. So that exercise of stretching kind of helps so that you can be more flexible. They say turn away, you turn away. Do they want, do they want? Open your legs and stuff like that. Or some people don't know how to be flexible in sex, and it can make it very uncomfortable or not exciting for the partner you're with if you're not flexible. Turn around and spread up and stuff like that. Can't. So when they're doing back to, they just go straight, and then when you're doing back to, or you're doing doggy, not even back to, but you're doing doggy, and you're on the bed or whatever it is that you're on. When you get on your knees, you have to arch your back in, and your butt has to be up. You can't just go like that. It's just going. You have to arch your butt out, and then there needs to be an arch in your back. When that arch is in your back, that way you can control the sex. But if there is no arch in your back, you cannot control the sex. So you just be in one place, and they're just gonna be hitting. But if you arch your butt like that, that way you can control your movement and stuff like that, so that he can be able to, enjoy what's going on. So that's a very good exercise. Okay. The best exercise, the Kegel exercise, as I stated before, and it basically strengthens your pelvic, your vaginal muscles down there. It it strengthens your vaginal muscles down there. It strengthens your anus. It strengthens your uterus. It strengthens your bladder and everything. So with that Kegels exercise, you can't go wrong. Ladies, you can't go wrong with it. And it's not, you don't even have to do anything. Nobody gotta know you're doing it. Just squeezing in, letting out. Squeezing in, letting out. Most of the time, when you have stronger muscles in your vaginal walls, it gives you more intense orgasm. You want to climax. Nobody want to just hold it out on a man or who have sex and stuff like that. At the end of the day, they don't come, because coming is what makes you at least feel good, as you know that, yeah, I want to go do this thing and I got a result from it. So just try as much as possible to make sure that you do what you have to do on your end as a woman. Okay. It's just holding and squeezing for 5 seconds. That's the Kegels exercise. Hold it, squeeze it, 5 seconds, then release it. You can do 150, you can do 50 to 150 Kegel squeezes a day to keep your muscles in good shape. And do not do your Kegels when you are urinating. This can lead to urinary tract and bladder infection, ladies. So just do it when you're not urinating. You can do it about 50 to 150 times per day to keep your muscles in good shape. It's important that your vaginal muscles are in good shape. Okay? Somebody wants to know if cyberbullying is really, if cyber sex is really cheating. Many people may not consider chatting on emails or exchanging thoughts about, sexual fantasies as cheating. But if you saw your partner doing it, how would you feel? Would you feel happy? So if you feel happy when you saw your partner doing it, that rests my case. But if you're not going to feel happy, then know that it is not okay and it counts as cheating. So make sure that you don't have a current relationship and then looking for it online. If you're bored with the relationship you're in, make sure that you discuss these things with your husband or your wife. Don't do these things online. Don't send pictures and stuff like that. Make sure that when you're having virtual sex online, you are aware that this person is someone you trust and you're not going to be sending pictures, because a lot of things have come up about revenge porn when people do these things online, have cyber sex. Some people want to know is if the vagina is going to be big after they have a baby. So the vagina wall was made for childbirth and for penetration. After you deliver, um, the vagina opening anywhere from 1 to 4 centimeters is bigger. But then when you are done, it goes back into its size. So whether the baby is big, doesn't matter how long you push, all those things, it goes back. And once you do the Kegel exercises, you should be good to strengthen your vaginal walls. And the more you do it, the better you will feel. Okay? So, next one. Someone says, I've never had orgasm before. Is it something wrong with me? No, there is nothing wrong with you. 70% of women don't orgasm during intercourse without direct clitoral stimulation. So if you don't climax when you intercourse, it's normal. It's not like there's something wrong with you. So don't get upset with the person that you're with and thinking that the person does not do the job. Remember, we all have our bodies and our bodies respond differently. For me, I just started to have my orgasms at a later age, and I had to sit down and figure out how my body works. And I had to sit and figure out what needed to be done, which part of my body needed to be touched for me to be able to have an orgasm without penetration. Once I got to that place, I was able to figure it out. I tried to look for a different style or position that would be good to help me do it, to orgasm during penetration. And I was able to find that as well. And, I could do it. So don't, um, you know, think that this is the job of the man. It's also the job of the woman to be able to find these things and put it to your partner and say, let's try this, let's try this. So if you've never experienced orgasm, about 10% of women haven't, consider investing in some lubricants. I'm not saying oil, I'm saying lubricants, because some oil can really irritate the sensitive vaginal tissues. So I'm talking about lubricants. You can find it in the supermarket or the sex shops. And you can try to experiment it. Don't get discouraged. If you continue experimenting it with your partner and talking about it, it might take an hour to stimulate and get an orgasm. Some people get orgasm when their G-spot is touched and when their breast is touched. So everybody have their own ways. You have to figure out which ways is good for you. Another person wants to know, where is my G spot? That? Ooh, ooh. Let me blow myself and take a sip. That is $1 million question. Where is my G spot? Yes, if you don't know where your G spot is, you are completely not in the loop. So, some researchers really don't believe that there is a G spot. Others kind of defend that there is a G spot. So, we had some researchers that study sex say that the G spot is a tissue that is around the utero. It's behind your pelvic bone and about 2 inches inside of the vagina. Others believe it's further back in a triangular area on the back of the bladder wall. It's called the T zone. That's where the nerves kind of come together to the vaginal wall. So some feel that is a combination of what I just said about, the T spot and where it is behind, the pelvic bone. But once your partner, fingers you or, have a way to use his penis to find it, there is a G spot. There is a G spot. And when you find it, sex will be much more enjoyable. It'll be much more enjoyable. Next question. Can anal sex give me hemorrhoids? Some people like doing it in the butt. They just love it. As long as you are relaxed and you enjoying it, it's okay. Because hemorrhoids are very, very painful swollen veins in the anal area, and it can result from excessive pressure around your anus. When you're constipated and you're straining to go to the bathroom, most of the time you just need to use a very good lubricant, and the penetration will feel comfortable. Don't force it. There's no need to force it. Notwithstanding, when you think about hemorrhoids and having sex in your anus, it's not possible because hemorrhoids are different. So just use your lubricant, okay? Just use your lubricant and you should be fine if you use the lubricant. And I said don't force it because some people, if you force it, it's going to cut around their anus area and it's going to make it very, very impossible. And the reason why I'm going over this because, believe it or not, there's a lot of people that love anal sex. They enjoy it because it's a whole different feeling that a woman feels when it's done in her butt versus if it's done in her vagina. So if you just use your lubricants, you should be okay. You're not going to have hemorrhoids whatsoever. Any other questions coming, people? I need to hear some questions here. Any other questions? Apart from the vagina, is there any G spots? Yeah, I just talked about it. But the G spot is there. You can either find it. Do you think having sex in the ass is good? To each is his own, Ruby. So having sex in anal sex can be good based on the person you're with. If she enjoys it, you better give it to her because that's something she enjoys. And as I said, those are two different feelings. Having sex in the vagina is different from having sex in the anal, in your anus. And when you have sex in the anus, it produces a different feeling versus having it in your vagina. So based on what the person wants, you give it. There needs to be a communication there, and people need to agree. Some guys don't like to do it. Some guys love it. It's based on both parties. Let's go to another question of embarrassing things that people do. Do I smell down there? What do I do? Ah, ladies, sometimes we worry about things that we should not worry about. But sometimes we worry about things because we don't really take good care of ourselves. I've heard most younger Liberian women that wasn't brought up in Liberia say, my doctor say I should not bother um, washing down there. I should just leave it like that and it will clean itself. The vagina is self-cleaning. I don't know. If you want your vajayjay to smell like a rotten fish, then you can do what the doctor says. But if you want your vajayjay to smell like flowers and to smell nice, you have to wash that place. And I mean, you need to squat, get water, and wash it. I go an extra mile by using lime every now and then, especially after my menses. Because when you don't use lime, that place can be smelling fresh because blood has passed through there. So you don't have to use the actual douche, but you can have the douche container. And you can put lime in there and pour water in there, shake it, and douche yourself so that the blood that's stuck in the walls after your menses comes down. It also gives the place a nice smell. So if your doctor's then telling you, say, you might not clean that place because it's self-cleaning, so you just say, oh no, but nobody gonna want to go down there because it smells really bad. So that's it. In order to smell good, you want to also avoid having infections. When you have sex, make sure that you squat and clean the sperm from in you. If your partner came in you, make sure that you are avoiding spicy or pungent food, and make sure that you have over-the-counter products that helps balance the vaginal pH. And once it does, it will give the vagina a better smell. That's kind of what I know. Other people might not agree with me, and that's okay. But as long as I've been using and cleaning myself like that, lime, it's been working for me. You don't have to use nothing else but lime. And you can do that once a week, or you can do that every time you have sexual intercourse. Do not let the sperm sleep in you. Remove it because it's not good for your pH balance at all. So please try to use, if you don't want to use anything, just use plain water to clean yourself instead of just leaving that place like that. No one wants to put their head down there and that place smells awful. Any other questions or comments that we have available? I guess there are no other questions or comments. So with that being said, I just want to kind of like go over some of the things that we kind of like discussed today. We went over size. Does size matter? Um, we talked about different things when it comes to sizing. We went over giving a guy a chance. So maybe you guys discussing it. It's too big good. When you size a guy up for the first time, we discuss how men are so sensitive to, the size being mentioned or discussed. Can you really get hurt when you have sex with someone who has a oversized penis? Is smaller better? We also discuss before you write the person off. And then we went through different questions about embarrassing sex questions, and I answered some of those questions for you. It's very important that we continue to discuss these things because a lot of people might seem like they know these things, but they don't know. So discussing it is good because with knowledge, you have a better understanding of what to do, and with a better understanding of what to do gives you more, experience, and it makes you feel better. I don't think people should worry so much about their size. I think they should just learn who they're going out with, what that person likes, what style works for them, and then probably you have it better. But it's best to talk about it. I see a lot of people drinking alcohol before having sex. Is it right? Sometimes people just want to, loosen up. When they drink alcohol, they want to loosen up because alcohol loosens you up. Don't just drink it to the extent that you get so, you get so drunk. Because if you get too drunk, you won't be able to perform very well. Again, it all boils down to honesty and talking about it. I think we take sex or having sex for granted a whole lot and we get disappointed. So it's about time that people took the opportunity to talk about it. Make sure you're talking about it before you engage into it so both parties understand what each other like, what they don't like, how things are, how the size is, what are the expectations. With that being said, you can't go wrong in your journey with this person. We've come to the end of the show, and I want to say thank you for watching. We are here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and appreciate all the love and support that you guys continue to give us here on Focus on Liberia. Come check me out next week, Wednesday, same time, same place. Have a nice evening.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
We are